Hi, thank you for joining us and welcome to what is something of an experiment for us at Santa Cruz City Schools, these preview webinars where we try to give families a good understanding of what the transition is going to look like into their new school. I'm Sam Rollins, Chief of Communications for Santa Cruz City Schools, and I've helped put together this look for families who are starting middle school in the next year or two at our curriculum, our supports, our student life at our middle schools. We were really happy to put this together to help try to make the transition as easy and enjoyable as possible, and also to help families get a head start so that they can take advantage of the supports and opportunities that we have for our students. Because of course, middle school is the start of a really exciting adventure. Students have reached a very interesting point in their development where they are developing independence. They are looking for opportunities to take agency with their time in athletics, art, music, clubs, endeavors, all of the expanded offerings that they will find at middle school. They have more capacity for complicated concepts and curriculum, and they're beginning to see the path a little further ahead. So we believe that at this stage, students need belonging, encouragement, and room to explore and develop as both scholars and people. And before we get into the specifics, we like to put this up anytime we're interacting with the public. These are our goals and values as a district, and I won't go through every single bullet right now. We'll post the slides on this page so you can look through them if you like, but what it boils down to is our belief that education is the place that gives everyone the fair, strong start they need, the wonderful beginning to make the most of yourself and your life so that everyone can develop and have a prosperous future. And that it's our responsibility to put all the supports and opportunities at the disposal of every student so they can reach their highest potential. And middle school is really a broadening of the horizon for students. As I said, it's the time when students are having it's much easier for them to look further forward and to get an understanding of what skills they want to develop, as well as the aptitude that everyone develops as they go through school. It's an opportunity for them to begin to choose where to spend their time, and there are so many more opportunities available to them, and we'll go through a lot of those in just a moment. So of course, at Santa Cruz City Schools, we serve our community with two middle schools, Mission Hill and Branciforte, pictured here. We won't be going into deep specifics of each school because what we're going to be talking about are the curriculum, the supports, the opportunities, the enrichments, and the policies that exist at both middle schools, district-wide. We're immensely proud of them. If you ask the staff or the students at either one, they will have a list of reasons why they are the best middle school, which is exactly how we want things to be, but we're not going to go through those necessarily here. Okay, so when we talk about the expanded horizon middle school, what are we talking about and what are we going to go over today? Well, we're going to cover the importance of that warm welcome into this more complicated environment coming out of elementary school. How we ensure that it is a smooth transition. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the beginning of the college prep curriculum that really gets going in middle school and what we cover, how we cover it, and what pathways we have. We'll talk a little bit about our career technical education programs as well as enrichments and extracurricular endeavors that are at the disposal of students and what that landscape looks like so that you can have that head start when you show up. We'll talk about the academic support systems that we have in place and what the common ways are for students to get extra support so that they can succeed and thrive. We'll talk a little bit about the leadership opportunities available to them, the social and emotional and mental health supports that we have on campus that we're very happy to be able to have on all of our campuses. We'll talk a little bit about the opportunities of connection and diversity that exist at our schools, and we will give a brief school safety overview. So that's what we're here to talk about today. To start with, it probably goes without saying that this is a momentous time for students. They're about to make a transition, for most of them, for the first time, from one organized school setting to another. Preschool to kindergarten, you only have a couple years in preschool, whereas you've been at your elementary school for quite a long time. So we are extremely cognizant of that, and we do everything we can to make sure that students get a warm welcome. And so a big part of this is our newly expansive team of counselors and mental health experts at our middle schools. We're incredibly grateful and happy to be able to have licensed social and dedicated social emotional counselors at our schools who inform a lot of staff policies, but also just have open doors and regular check-ins with students so that they can ensure that everyone is thriving. We also have a social emotional learning curriculum. It's built into the curriculum to foster tolerant and empowering environments for our students. Part of that warm welcome we see is the expanded connection opportunities that we have at middle schools in the form of all of the thriving clubs that we have on campus, the varied athletic teams and endeavors, performing arts, and an after-school arts academy on Wednesdays, where for our short day, we have a host of different activities that students can get involved in, from cooking activities to arts activities to music activities and all sorts of things like that. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. We also just really build a policy of open doors and encouragement into all levels at middle school. Because we know that friendly connection and friendly faces is such a big part of what makes this a smooth transition, and so we do everything we can to instill that at every level. Okay, a little snapshot peek at academics in middle school. So we have a college prep math program that serves students both at grade level and with an accelerated pathway for students who are ready to get a grade level ahead in math. Likewise, we have a science curriculum that was actually developed in collaboration with the UC Berkeley Lawrence Hall of Science, which we're incredibly excited about and fortunate to be able to have at our schools. We have an English language arts program that comprises both literary analysis and writing and nonfiction reading and comprehension. This is as well a college prep path and bridges into high school, is built to bridge into high school. The same is true of our social studies curriculum, which uses the National Geographic curriculum, and this is specifically built to bridge students in terms of their coursework into high school so that that is smooth once they finish 8th grade. We also, for lack of a better term, we work in the 21st century. Students learn the building blocks of computer science and coding and software, and so that they can really develop a strong tech literacy as they go through. So those are the sort of core academics that students interact with, but they also have the ability now to begin to choose, well, I won't say choose, I'll say explore different pathways around them. This isn't something as definitive as a choice, because exploration is a big, important part at this stage in their development. So we have a rotating career technical education set of courses that rotate throughout the year, so students can interact with. These are some examples that we wrote down: computer science, woodworking, culinary arts. And what these classes are, most of them are college prep courses, in our, this is sort of the beginning of a program that expands significantly in high school. And in the program in general, across middle and high school, most of these classes are college prep classes. But what puts them into this category is it's all very hands-on learning. Students learn by doing, whether it's, biology or woodworking. And most of them are taught by people with professional experience in those areas, so that students can develop an understanding of what goes into certain professions as they're also building academic skills in the classroom. We also have a wide host of electives that students are able to choose from, and so that they can explore what their interests are academically and not just stick with the core curriculum. We also have, of course, a wide variety of athletics, ways for students to push themselves, build discipline and cooperation, lead amongst their peers, and play. It's incredibly important still at this age. Some of them may feel like they are becoming adults, and of course they are, but play is still a huge part of daily life at middle school. And there's also more connection opportunities in the clubs that we have at our middle schools. They're started and run by students, and it allows students to find community, pursue shared interests, and take agency over their time. And then, as I said before, we have our Arts Academy. And these are the after-school sort of mini courses or more casual courses that students can take on Wednesdays. And I mean, this is everything, when I visited schools, from meditation and mindfulness exercises to baking to cross-stitch to art and cultural programs. It really spans a wide range of activities, and they change all the time, but it gives students that other dimension of pursuing interests, but also playing with social time and interacting with each other. And that really speaks to what we try to do at middle school, where we make this home for students, where we encourage them to find places where they feel like they belong. We like to give a wide variety of opportunities, whether students want to explore being on stage or just finding a small group of peers to interact with. We really want to create all of those opportunities for students to be able to explore themselves while they're in middle school. We also have a system of individualized support for our students, and we want our families to know a good sense of this coming in, because a lot of these are organized through an RTI coordinator. RTI stands for Response to Intervention. But who these specialists are on our campuses are really resources that support the classrooms and the teachers, but also work to customize supports needed around every student based on their strengths and challenges and learning style. So they will deploy supports around every student based on what they need at what time. And these supports can be anything from instructor tutoring to peer tutoring, which I'll talk a little bit more about in just a moment, because that program is really beginning to expand. To deploy broad supports, language supports for English learners, as well as supports in special education, and to connect students with support courses or extra interventions with staff to enable them to push through challenges and advance. So what we really want to do with all of our supports is to be arming students with the tools that they need to tackle future challenges without the need of supports. We're building independence with all of the supports that we have, but we will offer the supports as long as they are needed. And one of the ones that we're most excited about is our peer tutoring program. And this has been going on for a while, but was launched really in earnest a couple of years ago. And it's a system where students that are thriving in a particular subject area can be trained as tutors to work either in small groups or one-on-one with students who are finding challenges in their subject areas. And what we found is that this is really beneficial on both sides of the situation, that students who tutor really develop a much deeper and more advanced grasp and mastery of that subject matter. They also learn communication and leadership skills that that really serve them well, and because we offer some training on how to tutor, but then we really allow them to take leadership of those situations, and so it's a wonderful opportunity. And for students that are being tutored by their peers, the feedback we've gotten from them is that it's a much less intimidating environment. It's an environment that's much easier to ask questions, to take time to interact with subject matter, and that there's a certain kind of supportive learning that is easier when you are working with someone your age, when you're working with a peer, that parallels the support that is needed and that you get from your teacher. And so we're incredibly happy about that program, and we're only expanding it going forward because of the wonderful response we've got from all students and the participation that we've seen from students. I also, of course, wanted to say that a school system, a school district, a school, a classroom is only as good as its teacher. And we're incredibly proud of the team that we have at middle school. All of our teachers are, of course, credentialed in their subject area. They're also trained regularly in up-to-the-minute pedagogy. We work hard to put training and professional development at the disposal of our teachers for anyone who wants it. because, the teachers as well as the district and everyone involved really take the mindset that we are all learners continuing to hone our craft. We all want to get better. Our teachers are trained in the most high impact strategies, and the sort of the best ways of managing their classrooms, so that they just continue to get more excellent at the services that they provide. They also collaborate with each other, with their peers, so that students, as they move from classroom to classroom and from grade level to grade level, that they always find themselves in an environment where someone knows them well, knows their strengths, their challenges, their favorite color, just has a good, strong connection to every student that comes into their classroom. And this really speaks to the fact that we take a whole person approach. In middle school, obviously, you are not only developing a set of academic skills, you are developing your personality, you're developing as a human being. So as I said, we're really happy to have a wonderful counseling team at all of our middle schools, where they not only have open doors, but students can make appointments with counselors, teachers can refer students to counselors, parents can refer students to counselors too, even if it's something as simple as that your student is having a particularly hard week or a stressful time or a fight with friends, an argument with friends. The door is always open, and you can always make an appointment to speak with a counselor and get some support for that. We also have positive behavior intervention teams at all of our campuses who work to ensure that all students are managing their behavior, learning to manage their behavior, and that team works hard to encourage good behavior all throughout campus. Our counseling team also helps to train and inform all staff on how to recognize the markers of distress, how to respond positively within the classroom, even if the counselor is not there, to anything that happens, so that everyone has that mindset and it has those tools available to them, regardless of the scenario. We also build social, emotional, developmental learning into the curriculum, because as I said, we see that is a big part of middle school is learning those tools as well as the academic ones. And we also work hard to make sure that the school itself is a family support resource, that there's a lot of ways in which we can support families, and even if they aren't services that we can provide as a school for families, we can be that navigation piece that makes it very easy to have a warm handoff to the wonderful community supports that we have. We can navigate that for families and make those connections. Because, we really see middle school as a little city where students have so many different activities they can be involved in, but it's also a way for them to become involved in the community, to better understand their community, to better understand themselves, and to sort of, whether it's, in the classroom or doing chosen activities, or, we take a lot of field trips out through the community and in different places, and we always want it to be an environment of discovery for students. And of course, that is not possible unless a student feels completely safe and comfortable physically and emotionally while at school. So we wanted to give our prospective families also a briefing of school safety. And where it starts really is the investment of time and resources into connectedness and relationships. And this is a high impact area. The Secret Service has amassed a lot of data on school safety and has found that the most pivotal factor in school safety is a student's connectedness with their peers, with their teachers, with their school community at large. And so this is really what we train our team for, is to create those connections with students, to encourage the connections between connections with a student and the groups around them, their peers. They're, of course, all supported by our mental and emotional health resources. And in fact, every student regularly gets a check-in where they can sort of talk about how things are going, and we can make sure that that students are that they're connected, that they're involved in things that they care about, that they're taking advantage of the opportunities that interest them. And of course, all of our staff are trained regularly for different crises. We train with law enforcement. We maintain a strong network of partnerships for countywide resources. We're also installing smart lock systems at all of our schools so that teachers and administrators can immediately lock areas of campus at a moment's notice if need be. And we will be giving everyone access to an anonymous tip and alert system so that it's just as easy as possible to bring any concern, large or small, to the attention of staff right away. And of course, part of this warm welcome and part of what we provide is diversity. That a diversity of perspectives and experiences helps everyone's development drive be driven faster and to grow broader for all students. Because a developing mind needs variety and complexity. People need each other. And the greater variety of perspectives within a classroom, the greater the students' connection to their community and their society. It's something that we provide, and it's something that we believe, and it's the reason that we have thriving LGBT groups, cultural groups at our schools as well, so that everyone can not only be told that they are welcome, but be shown that they are welcome, and that diversity is celebrated at our campuses. And we want all of the parents to know that you are welcome as well. There are so many opportunities for parent connection and leadership, whether that's help within the classroom, volunteering on field trips. Lots of our parents do that. It's a lot of fun. Every one of these, or each of our middle schools has a full calendar of events and festivals throughout the year with wonderful opportunities for students to get involved. We have the PTSA at Mission Hill and the Home and School Club at Branciforte. That's our version of PTAs at these schools, where parents can get involved in supporting students and supporting teachers and to help organize these events and get involved. We have ongoing bond work at both sites, and parents can serve on the committee that oversees that so that they can weigh in and get an understanding of what's going on. There are school site committees, which is a different thing where you can interact with the administration and have an understanding of everything that's going on campus and take agency in that. We also have our ELAC and DLAC, which is our district level ELAC groups where parents can become leaders in these groups and help inform and guide our English language supports and programs district-wide. And you can start right now. If you're interested in learning more, and if you're interested in getting involved, and if you have any questions, you can reach out directly to your principal at whichever is your neighborhood school. You can schedule a tour. We're scheduling tours regularly. You can schedule a day for your student to shadow other students and get an understanding of what the school day looks like. You'll also see that we have posted the open house dates for next year. There's other welcome events that follow those open house dates, and so if you're interested in those, email your principal and get more info on that by all means. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that we have in terms of our hopefully brief preview of what to expect and how to understand our curriculum, our enrichments, our supports, and our opportunities that are available for students. If you feel like I've left anything out, you're probably right, and you can reach out to me directly and ask me any question that you want, ask me for any information that you want, ask about what the bands are like, what cheerleading is like, what volleyball is like, anything like that. Reach out. We'd love to get you the info that you need and help you make this transition, as I said, as easy and smooth as we can so that your student has a wonderful experience in middle school. And with that, I'll say goodbye. Thanks again for watching, and don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything or have any questions.